either use my iPad to kind of take or record notes. I've used the Notability app. I've also used the Good Notes app to write notes. Currently, I'm using Microsoft OneNote, which I really like. I like the functionality of being able to take notes on my iPad, as well as the functionality to kind of use my stylus pen to write notes as well. So again, whatever is the thing that has worked for you in the past or whatever you're looking forward to in the future in terms of taking good notes, I think it's going to be really important for you to have a mindset and a plan to tackle that once you start graduate school. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. This is Phil's Guide to PsyD. This channel is dedicated to all things psychology, wellness, and graduate school. Today we have a very special topic that we're going to be talking about. For those of you who are just now getting ready to get into graduate school, you are about to start your doctoral program, maybe even your master's program, and you're wondering about all of the ways, the tips, the tools, the skill sets, the mindset to actually survive graduate school. I think it's important to talk about how to get into graduate school, but it's also important to talk about what you should think about, what you should do once you actually get into graduate school. One of the first things that I wish that someone told me before actually jumping into my clinical psychology doctoral program is that grad school is not just academic. There's a lot of things that will try and take up space and time and energy as it relates to graduate school. One of these things is the emotional toll of graduate school. You know, in grad school, life still happens. There's still weddings and birthdays and get-togethers and ups and downs and sickness and health that still happens in graduate school, and that could really provide and give a pretty significant emotional toll on your mental health. And so one of the things that I've always recommended for students is, if you have not already, please, think about your mental health. Are you seeing a therapist before getting into graduate school? Are you going to be seeing a therapist while you're in graduate school? Some programs will actually recommend or require students to also be receiving their own therapy with other mental health clinicians while they're in graduate school. And so I think understanding the emotional and mental toll that graduate school could actually inflict on your mental health is something to think about and to prepare for. The other thing is the financial burden. Hopefully you're going to graduate school with a financial plan. Maybe you've talked to a financial advisor, a career advisor. Maybe you've talked to an accountant. Maybe you've figured out different ways to talk with a financial coach about how you're going to pay for your expenses. Hopefully you've connected with the financial aid department if you need to in regards to the student services that most programs are going to provide. But you do need to have a plan in terms of a budget and a plan of how you're actually going to pay for graduate school. If you're going to a PhD program and something happens to the funding, what happens? What's going to happen to your research? What's going to happen to your ability to stay in the program? Are you going to have to do part-time jobs? All of these things are really good things to consider as it relates to graduate school. Here are a few practical tips to help you transition smoothly into graduate school. The first thing is to look over the syllabi. Now, every professor, every class is going to provide a syllabus, and I think it's really good to figure out what system is going to work for you. Are you going to use a laptop, an iPad? Are you going to take notes on paper, pencil? Are you going to use things like Google Calendar to structure your classes and to understand what your class schedule looks like on a week-to-week basis? I've also used a physical planner. I like to write things out, and whenever I get something done, I like to kind of cross it over, check it off. I will either use my iPad to kind of take or record notes. I've used the Notability app. I've also used the Good Notes app to write notes. Currently, I'm using Microsoft OneNote, which I really like. I like the functionality of being able to take notes on my iPad, as well as the functionality to kind of use my stylus pen to write notes as well. So again, whatever is the thing that has worked for you in the past or whatever you're looking forward to in the future in terms of taking good notes, I think it's going to be really important for you to have a mindset and a plan to tackle that once you start graduate school. The other thing that really helped me as it relates to organization was using Zotero for publications and research and articles and all of those things. Another thing that helped me was having a spreadsheet of all of the clients that I ever saw, their age, their population, the setting, what the presenting problem was. Another thing that really helped me was keeping track of the hours that I would put in for clinical rotations. Sometimes schools will give you a program that you can use to record your hours, but I think it's also good for you to record your hours on your own, on maybe on some sort of Excel spreadsheet to kind of keep all of that organized. One of the things that I wish someone told me was to plan out fun. Plan out times when you're going to hang out with your friends. Plan out times when you're going to actually engage in self-care. Plan out times when you're going to go out with your spouse or your partner or your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Plan out those things and put them in your calendar. It is going to be so easy and so tempting to take away the fun out of your life. And so that's why you really should be planning fun, hopefully within your schedule. A lot of times people have asked me about part-time work. I always say, go out in the first semester and just focus on school. And then as you're focusing on school, after that first semester, you'll be able to know pretty quickly whether or not you can actually handle a part-time job, whether that's 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 15 hours a week. For me, I knew a lot of people in my own cohort that worked throughout graduate school, year 1 all the way through year 4. It is possible. It is not necessarily easy to do, but I think if you're motivated, you can definitely do it as long as you structure your time accordingly. And hopefully you're picking a part-time job that also does have flexible hours that you can actually maintain. It is so important to work backwards. And so even as you get into graduate school, do you want to become a neuropsychologist? Do you want to become a forensic psychologist? Where do you want to be 5 years down the road after you've graduated, and then work backwards? Make sure that you're being mindful of the clinical practicum rotations that you take. Make sure that you're mindful of the elective courses that you'll have the opportunity to take. Make sure that you're mindful of who you're going to get letters of recommendation from in terms of your clinical supervisors. Make sure that you're mindful of the research or the thesis or the dissertation topic that you choose, so that when you apply to that internship, you apply to that postdoc, you have a lot of experience and a lot you can pull from in terms of talking about those competencies. One of the things that I wish was told to me is that here's the thing: you cannot do this alone. A lot of times for me, in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to get into graduate school and it's going to be about what I can do, how I can study, how I can take notes, how I can go into my clinical practicum rotations. And what I learned really quickly is that honestly, graduate school, you're going to be successful to the extent of your support system. What is the culture like in your cohort? Do you support one another? Do you hang out? Do you help each other with homework? Do you help each other with clinical skills? Do you have a mentor relationship who is already a clinical psychologist, or maybe they're a faculty member? Do you have a really good research director who's pouring and investing into you to help you with your research skills? And one of the things that I realized, that even when I graduated, I realized how many people invested in me. As I'm picking up my degree, as I'm here at the end, right, in the graduation ceremony, realizing how many people invested into me, my friends, my family, my loved ones, my research director, my coworkers, my clinical practicum students, other people who were in the internship with me. So many people contributed to my success. It's not even funny. And even writing down the names of everyone that helped me in the process get to where I was at the end of the road, it really did take a village. And so for you, as you're going into your own graduate program, hopefully you have that support system for yourself. And for anyone who's already currently in graduate school, definitely put it down in the comment section below who your support system is and how they've helped you get to the next year and the next year and the next year and the next year. So with that, if you have not already, please subscribe to this channel, like and share this video for more content. You can always join our membership program for more behind the scenes content, videos that we have not released yet. And with that, hopefully I will see you all in the next video.